always love when you get a dub on a scoreboard or on the victory side on the column. But I just feel like, man, we're not playing complimentary football. We're not playing disciplined football. And we can get by on certain teams, but it's going to come a point in time where we can't continue to make those mistakes and keep affecting us. So we're harping on that. We preach on that every day in practice, and we just got to do a better job. I got to do a better job of continuously making sure they understand the standard. And I'm reiterating that every opportunity, every chance we get. But it's just this young era, man. These young guys nowadays, I guess they just feel like they're arrived and they've made it. But it's still a lot of things we still need to accomplish in order for us to hold that trophy up at the end of the season. Man, we got to clean up those little things.
You were mentioning that this team. Last week you said that you felt like there were some things that you still need to clean up with regards to penalties, and that you weren't going to blame the officials and different things of that nature. Just how frustrating is it to know you go through these things with these guys week after week in practice, and Saturday is still the same thing.
Yeah, it's extremely frustrating, man. I can't continue to allow those mistakes as a head coach. Even in my playing career, the coaches that I respected and had a great relationship always preached and praised complimentary football and doing the things you need to do, because it's hard enough to win. In Division I football and football in general, it's hard enough to win, right? So when you're, continuously making bonehead mistakes, putting your mind in however you're feeling in that moment, against the team is not good ball, right? And, like I said, at the end of the day, the referees call what they call, right? So it's just being in every game, we've always been the most penalized team on both sides, right? So, at this point, it's like we're going to have to deal with what we got to deal with. But I know as a head coach, what I'm preaching and what I'm praising to my guys, that it's definitely unacceptable.
Talk about the running game. You were able to get at least 3 guys, 50 yards or more. Just how important was it to establish that part of the running game against Bowie?
Yeah, man. In my eyes, I thought Bowie was going to be a tough opponent, come out and play hard. Watching film, I just didn't think they should be able to compete with us at all. I feel like we was the better team, but I knew it was still gonna have to go out on the field and prove it. But for me, what I visualized was definitely not what we put out there. 36 points. I feel like we should have scored 50 points in the first half, right? And I think we should have came out again and scored another 30 plus. But we just continuously kept making mistakes, bonehead mistakes, and it's like I said, as a coach, and that's my job here to do. I'm gonna make sure we clean it up. And throughout the week, I'm running these guys, for the mistakes. Like everything we do on the field, we pay for it. So when guys are making these decisions and making these things that's costing the team, we pay for it. And I don't know how much more I got to run these guys in practice, and I got to punish them, but I'm punishing them. So I don't know. Sometimes the punishment don't work. As a kid, when you get in trouble, you punish your kid, and sometimes it still don't work. You still go do things as a kid. So that's just what we're dealing with right now, man. One thing I can say, I'm addressing it and I'm punishing them. It's just on them to go out and perform.
So, Coach, talk about fan support. Mm-hmm. Like we seen today, looked like Bowie had a little bit more on their side than we did on ours.
Yeah, man.
So, what can you do, or what do you think needs to happen to rejuvenize the students to get excited about football?
Just fall in love with winning. We're gonna win, man. That's been my message all along. I know last week when we played Albany, wouldn't say a better opponent, but a team that's been competing at, in Division I ball, FCS, and we had a good showing this week. On our side, we definitely didn't have a good showing. So we just got to keep encouraging. We got to figure out how we can do rallies to get everybody, enthusiastic about coming out and supporting us, because we're gonna need it. At the end of the day, we can't have an opponent come in our field and in our territory and have a better crowd than us. So, hopefully we can figure out some things internally to get more people to come out and support us.
Coach, from the students' perspective, I understand there may have not been the turnout that you wanted, but everybody is calling it a new era on campus. That's all that you're hearing. Mm-hmm. For you, why do you feel like this is an era is more than just a moment here? Do you feel like this is history that you're making, or it's just a moment? And what is it about this that is going to hold that sustainability?
I've got an opportunity to, be in this seat, and anything I do in my life, I'm gonna go hard and put my utmost all to it. So I definitely feel like I have a job to do. I have a priority to do. That's come here and change the culture, which I said I was gonna do. Come in here and make a difference. I said it wasn't gonna be a long time before we get winning here, and I just feel like it's deserving. We came out and did a great job of recruiting and getting guys here to help us change the culture around and you know, give us a chance to win in this division. So, or in this conference. So, you know, the new era is a new era, and it's correct, right? And you know, the expectations and the standard are very high. And you know, I will continuously uphold that, including myself, my coaches, and the players. And we just got to do a better job of, you know, holding everybody accountable. I feel like regardless of who you are, what your position, what your title is, you know, everybody has to go by that standard and go along with it. And if everybody holds themselves to that standard, we'll have a lot of success this season.
Coach, this seemed like it was some confusion on the sideline at one point during the timeout. Can you explain that a little?
I mean, it was previous times. I can't even remember one time in particular, but you know, it's just selfishness, man. You got guys that, you know, talk back. You got guys that are making mistakes in the game, and you know, to win at a high level, you got to play mistake-free football, right? And mistakes I'm talking about is mentally, right? You know, you're gonna get beat. A penalty is gonna happen, but the penalties that you punching a guy or hitting a guy or doing something excessive after a play or something across the team is unsportsmanlike conduct. That's the issues we need to address right now. And we just got guys that are talking back and, you know, think they're bigger than the program and above the program. And as a head coach, you know, I can't allow that, you know, and I can't respect that. And we can't, you know, continuously have guys, you know, separate themselves. So it may be a few guys being kicked off this team, man, because at the end of the day, we can't have that to go where we need to go. We got to have everybody buy in and everybody, you know, beating to one beat or drumming to one beat, whatever, however you say it.
Everybody good? Yeah, we're good.